Hello guys, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Today we are going to talk about something in perfumery, which is something that I always wanted to talk about. It's something that I never found actually enough materials about to differentiate the different types and the different things, and that is bases in perfumery. There are two things I want to clarify first. This is a video about bases, not base notes in perfumery, and that's the entry point I want to start talking about. What's the difference between bases and base notes? So let that be the first point we talk about. When we describe a perfume in the olfactory pyramid, we put top notes, middle notes, and base notes. Sometimes the base notes are called trail notes or like the final notes. For example, if we have a perfume made of three things, let's say vanilla, patchouli, and lemon. Lemon would be top notes, and vanilla and patchouli would be the base notes. If we add something floral, that would be the middle notes. These kinds of notes is just denoted by top, middle, and base. However, this is totally different to what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about bases, which are a little bit of a mystery for a lot of people. What are they? Where they come from? What is their function? And what is the reason they exist actually, which is something I don't think I've ever heard anybody speak about. I've heard theories, but I'm trying to analyze this logically. So the first point, which is good, is that we differentiated between bases and base notes. Now let's start talking about what are the bases. Bases are things that have the uniqueness of being either something which is totally new, totally innovative, like for example, Mousse de Saxe accord or base, which is considered to be a composition on its own, like this is here, for example. This is called Mousse de Saxe. It's a base which was created by a company several decades ago, and it is something like here, for example, royal leather. It's an accord and also a base. And here, for example, you have Cuir de Russie, which is an accord or a base. And here I need to differentiate, like, why would I say accord or base? Here the naming is a little bit tricky because the accord is any combination of notes in perfumes, and so is a base. So it's a little bit hazy here because an accord can be a base actually. It's just that these people agreed to call this an accord or a base. The main difference would be that bases are more ambiguous. In what sense? For example, if you say a rose accord, it's very direct because everybody understands what rose is. So it's some kind of formulation which smells like rose, but can be a little bit green or a little bit red rose or a little bit sweet, jammy. So this, in this case, it would be called a rose accord and everybody would understand. But if I tell you Mousse de Saxe accord, you don't know what that is. It's a conventional name. It's not a conventional thing. It's a name that the inventor of the base put. For example, if you say Mousse Orientale, which is a famous base also, or Cassis base, or something like Mimosa base. Sometimes it's also a little bit more, I'd say, abstract, like the case of Saxony thyme or Mousse de Saxe, and some other times it's a little bit direct, like bergamot base or rose base, like we said, or leather accord. Again, when I say leather, it's understandable. There are several leather accords. Some of them famous, like Cuir de Russie